This Healing Specter build is extremely strong. It has amazing damage for a healer. It is very flexible in what it can do, applying a lot of barrier, a lot of boons, alacrity of course, a lot of healing as well, and it's just very fun to play. If you're interested, be sure to watch the whole video to not miss out an important thing about this build. And now let's jump right in. Important disclaimer, this build should be played as the healing alacrity build for your party, your squad, if there is low healing pressure. So if you need a high amount of healing, you should not play this build. It has very capable heals, but if you really high pressured, like if, for example in a Bone Skinner fight or really something like that, where you really need to have really high healing output, be sure to play a full healer with Harrier gear or something like that. This build here is using Celestial gear, full Celestial with Trapper Rune for the maximum amount of damage. If you want to go for infusions, you would go with condition damage infusions. Full Celestial on every single piece. For weapons, you would go with Scepter and Pistol. Again, with Celestial. On your Scepter, you want to have Sigil of Transference for more healing. And on your Pistol, you want to have Sigil of Demons for more torment duration, so more damage. If you need even more healing, then with the Transference Sigil, you can swap the Sigil of Demons for Sigil of Water to get some more healing. In the offhand pistol, I would recommend going for another Celestial pistol that has Superior Sigil of Paralyzation on there, so that you can swap to it when you need a lot of CC and you can spam your headshot to get some more days to. And then you use Relic of Karakosa. It's by far the best relic. Why is that? Because with the latest balance patch, your Scepter 2 is now a blast finisher. So you will spam that anyway because of the barrier, might and protection. And now it will also heal you, because there should always be some kind of combo field down and it will always heal your allies, not you. Have to clarify that it only heals your allies around you, but it's really, really nice. So keep that in mind. For your food and utility, you want to go with Spherified Oyster Soup with Mint Garnish. That's the best option by far. 10% outgoing healing and 45 to all attributes. It's just insane how much value you get. If you can't afford the Ascended version though, it's not too bad. You can go for Delicious Rice Balls. They are insanely cheap and still very worthwhile. 100 healing power and 10% outgoing healing is still very worthwhile, but this one is obviously way better. For utility consumables, you would always go with Master Tuning Crystals or something that gives similar stats just for the most amount of damage. If you want to go for more healing, you can of course go for Bountiful Maintenance Oils as well. They give you way more healing output, are quite expensive, and you will lose of course the damage from the Master Tuning Crystals. By the way, if you want to see more guides like this, don't forget to subscribe. But now to the traits. So for the traits, it's also quite straightforward. You want to run Deadly Arts, Trickery and Spectre. Deadly Arts is your damage trait line. You get a lot of poison application, condition damage, more poison when you immobilize, and more damage per unique condition on the foe. That helps a lot in group scenarios. And of course more damage and duration increase of poison. It's really helpful, really strong trait line for damage, condition damage in particular. Then we have Trickery. Trickery is your utility trait line. Gives you more initiative when you steal, gives you more expertise and more maximum initiative. You get more damage output, you get Fury, Might and Swiftness access for your allies whenever you use a steal or a siphon for that matter. You get Bountiful Theft, which is boon stealing on the enemy. On your steal, gives Vigor and Might. It's really, really strong. So a lot of boons that you get from your siphon for your allies. And Deadly Ambush now gives you some nice bleeding damage increase and just more bleeding when you steal. Really helpful. Spectre is your utility trait line as well, but also gives you some nice damage access and of course access to your Shroud. So you get a lot of condition damage and you get healing power based on your condition damage. Because you're a Celestial build, you actually get quite a lot of that. It's really helpful. If you need a lot of Condi cleanses, you would swap this trait to Shallow Grave, because then you get Condi cleanses for your allies and you can also transfer conditions from you to your enemy with the Siphon. So swap this whenever it's necessary, because the damage is not always important. You are after all a healer, so if you need Condi cleanses even more than usual, go for that one. Then you get some nice damage and healing increase to others. Keep that in mind. You also can get some nice barrier when you apply stealth to allies or when you use a stealth attack, so keep that also in mind. It's not that common, but can be helpful because it's actually quite a huge amount of barrier. Then you get Traversing Dust. You should always take that one. You get resistance on your wells. It's really, really strong. You gain Shadow Force for each ally in radius of your Shadow Step, and they will be healed. So it's really overloaded how much this skill actually does, and it's very helpful just to keep your allies topped up and also get Shadow Force. And lastly, of course, you take Shade Step for the Alacrity. It's very important, of course, your Alacrity heal, so you want to get that. And it gives you a lot of alacrity just by spamming your Shadow Shroud skills. If you want to see the full Healing Specter build that is not only using Celestial but is going full all in on healing and not applying any damage, be sure to check out this build where I talk not only about how to play it, but also how to set, for example, a personal marker that helps you a lot to keep track of your ally targeting, because I won't go into detail in this guide. Regarding the skills, I want to quickly go over them. So like I said, this is very nice for the blast and the might, protection and barrier, so keep spamming this. The 3 skill you should always use on an ally and you will get some heavy barrier, reach and vigor, and it's just very, very useful also for healing and also around the ally. So keep that in mind. If they are stacked, they actually receive all the buffs. The 4 skill is some nice CC and the 5 skill can be used to stealth, but typically not in a fight. Then you have Well of Gloom, just a very nice healing. You can swap that for Scalp Venom, which is the best healing skill, but you will lose access to the teleport and the resistance and the Shadow Step, so keep that in mind. If you need a little bit more healing, you can go for Scalp Venom. It's worth it sometimes. Then you have Spider Venom. It's obviously the most aggressive option, as well as the Well of Sorrow, just more damage and more resistance and the Shadow Step. Well of Bounty is very strong, gives you stability access to your party, resistance, reach and vigor, fury, might. It's really, really strong. You can't drop that if you can upkeep might, fury, vigor, region without it, because your allies help you or you know that you don't need it for the fight. You can swap stuff around on this one. You can go for teleport, you can go for Shadow Step, you can even go for stealth. You can go for, if you really needed some Shadow Refuge action with healing, you can go for Condic Lens and Endurance Regeneration. You can of course go for all the traps, which give you some nice Shadow Portal access. You can use the seal area to block projectiles and seal enemies in. You can use it, for example, to get some more CC breakbar and some damage with the 1000 needles. There are a lot of options here. So always swap it around what you need. You can even go for Well of Silence if you need more CC. So be aware, you are still a healer. You can swap a lot of skills around to make use for the next situation that's coming up. For your elite skill, I would go with Basilisk Venom in a lot of cases where you need CC, because it's the most defiance breakbar damage that you can do. If you don't need CC for the fight or don't need it a lot, you can go for Thieves Guild, which is the highest damage option. If you want to go for another Shadow Step, you can go for Shadowfell as well. But I would say Basilisk Venom for CC, Thieves Guild for damage. When it comes to the opener, I would start with Well of Sorrow and use Spider Venom while you cast it, and then cast Well of Bounty and 2 times Shadow Step, which is your 2 skill on Scepter. Use the Siphon and enter the Shadow Shroud. Now you follow the Shroud loop. In the Shroud loop, you'll want to start with 1 auto attack, cast Grasping Shadows, so your 2 and your 4 skill. Then use 3 times auto attack, use another Grasping Shadows, use another 4 auto attacks, another Grasping Shadows, 3 auto attacks, and then use Eternal Light again, Grasping Shadows, and exit the Shadow Shroud. That's it for the Shroud loop. For the Scepter loop, you want to go with 2 Shadow Steps, so the 2 skill, use a Measured Shot and an ally targeted Endless Night, so the 3 skill, and use Well of Sorrow, Well of Bounty, 2 Shadow Steps, and enter Shadow Shroud. Always cast Siphon, Well of Sorrow, and Spider Venom off cooldown. Always try to Siphon on the enemy, because that's applying a lot of wounds and damage and stuff, so it's always the most important one. It's also the very important Shadow Force gain for this skill, so always try to do that. But if one ally has to do a mechanic, you can also tether them and they will also receive the healing and the alacrity and stuff. So keep that in mind. Don't forget that your 3 skill in the Shroud gives some heavy barrier, also apply fear. It's really nice. The 2 skill also cleanses conditions around the targeted area. Try to cast your Endless Night, so your 3 flip over skill on Scepter fully, because it's really long cast and it's very important that you get all the value out of it. Try to not cast the Venoms before the Boon Strip, because they will get actually stripped at the start of combat. So wait until you're in combat and then cast the Venoms. So I hope I could convince you to play this very nice Celestial Healer build. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks to all my supporters on YouTube, Twitch and Patreon. Thanks for your support, I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you all in the next video.